thing we want to do is make sure and show everybody around you your gun's unloaded. And if you need to check. Remember one thing I always tell people, you know, you pick up your gun, your flashlight, they should go hand in hand. You walk out of the house with your gun, you should have your flashlight somewhere. Statistically speaking, 75% of all the times you're going to be attacked, it's going to be either dark or getting dark. You know, it's just a basic question. Or observation. I have to identify my attacker. I got to know who and what I'm shooting. If I got my gun out, I know why I'm shooting them, but I still need to know who and what. I got to see them, so I got to have some light on. Obviously, the more light, the better. There's some great stuff out there right now. I'm using one of the new little 511 lights. So far, so good. I haven't broken it. I'd say the jury's still out on it yet, but you got one of them too? You got the little smaller one? You used the belt mount for it?
Streamlight. No, it's just in my coat pocket.
You know what? The belt mount sucks. I will tell you that. If anybody hasn't, we were talking about that up front the other day. I've got the belt mount for it. I've got the belt mount for this thing. Piece of junk. It's a good, the belt mount's a good design, except it doesn't work. Just in case you're thinking about it, I like the light so far. I didn't put the lanyard on this one, but the belt mount, it just slips in and out of. I've gotten out of the car a couple of times, just sitting in the car, it just fell off from my lap. So.
Yeah, that's the reason I can do this one.
Yeah, that's the smallest. Yeah, I like that a lot better.
Yeah.
I like that little pouch a lot better. I'd probably like, we're gonna end up doing something like that. I'm gonna take the only good thing, I think the 511 comes apart, it's got 4 screws on it. I'm gonna see if I can take that back off and put another piece of rubber in there or something to beef it up, but I shouldn't have to buy something and go home and take it apart and remanufacture it, so. But yeah, I made it pretty clear to him up front that was a piece of junk, so when the dealer comes in, I'm sure he's heard from everybody too, because it still slips in and out. I mean, you can take your little finger and bump it, the light just pops right up and out of the holder. It's a $70 light, I'd like to have it at least for a while, you know. Yeah. All right, anyway, we're gonna run through 6 different flashlight techniques. I'm running through them now. When we go on the range, we are going to try using all these different flashlight techniques with live fire on the range. So if you're not sure with them now, I'll go over them again when we're on the range as well. So I'll give you a quick demo on the range as well, just to make sure. Start with just some of the old-time basic ones. Surefire, Harry's, or just refer to as cross. They've all got a whole bunch of different names. If we're running a cross, grab a hold of the flashlight, just your fist with it facing forward. If this position works really good, if you got a big flashlight that's got a button on the side, the on-off is on the side, like the old mag lights, some of that stuff. Okay, good, thank you. Yeah, you got a big flashlight, that's got the light on the side too, huh? Is that button on the side?
Side and back.
Oh, okay, so you can do either one. But yeah, anyway, if you got a flashlight with it on the side, this works really good. When I'm bringing the gun up in a cross position, I want the back of my hands against the back of my hands, and I'll slide that light back just a little bit, just into the joint right here. Just kind of locks in like a couple of Legos in here. Just to kind of reinforce it a little bit. It's basic cross. Keep your palms together, and I'll usually slide it just back a little bit, just to let it kind of lock in. You know, it may feel good, it may not. Nothing to worry about. You can turn your lights on, try it just to check. I will take them on the range. The problem a lot of people have with all these flashlight positions is actually getting the flashlight on the target, so this is something to work on at home. I can't tell you how many times I got somebody on the range, and he's lighting up his target, which you'll see it on the range, because we'll turn it down where you're going to be using your flashlights to illuminate the target. You'll see lights shine into the ceiling while they're shooting something. So spend a little time with your flashlight at the house. It's not quite as easy as it first sounds. You'll find your lights, and especially the shorter the light gets, just like the shorter barrel gun, the more difficult it gets to aim it. The gripping long flashlight's a little easier to aim because you have a big handle on it. So we can run them crossed, we can run them uncrossed. If I'm running them uncrossed, I can set my hand, just part of it, I can just set it right in here. Just set it right in here. They just all get hit. That's what happens. You get a whole bunch of guys with headsets on talking. Headsets off so they can hear each other. I know, we're like, what's going on in here? Maybe we should all load up. And then I'm looking at like,
I'm still armed.
I think a bunch of people with headsets on there trying to talk to each other. Anyway, so we got crossed, we got uncrossed. We're just moving it back over here. And really, 4 of these positions all involve having the flashlight in the same position. So we got crossed, we got uncrossed, we got what's referred to as neck indexed. And you can just, and that's just kind of putting it right along your jawline right there. It's a neck index. And that one, go turn your light on, look around, that's, you know, where you turn your head, the light's looking around in there. I was just, you know, this is one we haven't taught that one before, and it's looked at it, and I was looking the other day at some of the current police training videos about a month ago, and I'm like, God, they're still teaching neck index. Guys, it's real popular for somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Just here, just put your hand on your jaw. You're okay, just remember, hold your hand there like you got a toothache while you're walking through the room. Like, all right, you know, they're still using it, I'll show it, because you're gonna see it in a magazine someplace. I guarantee, when you guys shoot later with this, you're gonna have some definite opinions about it. So,
I like that one, because it's like, the only reason I don't like it is because when you turn, not everybody's, you know, accustomed to moving their weapon with their head.
and that is an excellent observation, he's absolutely right. Because you're,
Looking around.
instead of, if I'm looking, I've always got the beam where I'm running, absolutely. And this forces you to run the light and the gun at the same place. Yeah, people tend to have a look, oh crap, there's a guy with a gun over there, but my gun's still over here, where I'm like, oh crap, he's got a gun. No, that's a problem now, so, yeah. Anyway,
Now they know you're looking at it.
we have crossed, uncrossed, guns all, the flashlight's all in the same position, neck index, and just standard FBI, hold it up over here someplace. When you're doing this, you don't want it sitting on your head or someplace else. The idea behind this is if somebody's shooting at the light, I don't want the light, you know, stuck in my mouth or something ridiculous.
Oh,
So when you're doing it, yeah, you hold it out, just hold it out wherever you're holding it. Ian, I would hold it, yeah, it's fine, you got the same, you got it out there wherever. This is one of those things, several people on the range yesterday are like, I really don't like this, they really didn't like this, they didn't care for this position like this. But I pointed out to them with the neck index, if you're moving around a room where you're shining it, and you see something you're gonna shoot, I just about guarantee you're probably gonna drop back into this to shoot, just to get some more support on the gun. That's gonna be your instinctive habit. Instead of trying to shoot with the gun up here, you're probably gonna drop them back together, at which point, practice this one, because you might very well end up with your hands back in here. So this is 3 with the flashlight held in this position. Crossed, or 4, crossed, uncrossed, neck index, up and out of the way, okay?
Do you ever practice hot flashes?
The other two are referred to as like syringe and modified syringe. Just hold like a syringe between your first 2 fingers. Kind of like you're gonna hold your magazine, right, for a magazine retention drill.
Kind of like that.
I get the base sitting down in the palm of my hand. If you got a big on-off button in the bottom, you can engage it that way, maybe not, depends on your flashlight, okay? The syringe, if you're running a syringe, they're just running together. You can see right here when I'm running it this way, my thumbs, I'm just bringing them together, just like this. Bring them straight in. That works pretty well once you get the hand position down right. It's not bad, because your knuckles tend to interlock just a little bit.
Like that.
Yeah, yeah, once you get it figured out. For some people it does, for some doesn't. But it sets down here, make sure, when you're doing this, make sure you're not getting it up into here someplace like a cigar. So we're not running it up in here, you want it down in here. Okay, syringe, now what's called modified syringe, we're just gonna open up the 3 bottom fingers and go back to a normal shooting position. If I have my thumbs together, that's fine, but if I normally run thumbs forward, I could run modified syringe almost thumbs forward like that.
That kind of puts your other finger close to the trigger.
On the weak side there.
A little bit.
Oh, no, I
It's-
see,
yeah.
the batteries in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that's called supported syringe.
Also puts this in the magazine, so. At least on the block.
Yeah. This one, it's kind of depends on your flashlight, on the size of the flashlight, how far your hand gets in there. It's like with mine, or with it, even with this one, the clock's in the same place. When I get to 3 here, where my fingers hitting the flashlight, I'm really not anywhere near close to that stuff on here, on this one.
Have you ever accidentally turned it on and left it in your pocket?
No, I keep an eye on that.
This one's a little faster grip.
It's a pretty warm.
I'm just worried about
Yeah.
this kind of thing. See,
So does this one.
Nah,
It's starting to get warm.
Cross is hard for you to aim. Yeah. It's first.
with this
Yeah.
finger.
Yeah. Just gotta practice it.
You have to
don't have angle to hold my wrist on,
Instead of moving it around,
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
around, you can put the
with,
trigger.
You
with,
can-
with that
I bet you
flashlight, it's just your hand is sitting there a little closer, it's a different flashlight, it might not.
Yeah, room had
Sounds fire.
I flashed on the gas.
Yeah,
Which was it?
but if you know, if you
I
got a
like
ring,
it, but I just am worried about that.
Somebody there.
you know, if it bothers you, you know, again, these are pretty much the 6 standard ones for flashlight techniques for handheld flashlights.
I tell you.
Obviously, if you got a gun mounted light, life is pretty simple, you just mount the, you know, light on the gun and away you go.
Yeah.
But out in the street when you're running around, unless you got the holster you had, did you have the light mounted holster before?
Yep.
Yeah.
In there.
Unless you got a holster that's got the light mount built into it, so you can holster, you know, the gun mount, you know, the light mount on the gun. You're gonna be running handheld, because, you know, you see somebody jump out the bushes, you leave your flashlight out first, you identify your gun's gonna come out. You're not gonna be like clipping it on first, you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna have your flashlight probably in
Bring it
one
up
hand.
and turn it on.
Probably not, you know, it's probably gonna be separate. Now at home, sure, I go to bed at night, gun mounted light goes on the gun and that's where it lives, so that's definitely, but out in the real world like today, you're probably gonna be running handheld, so you wanna know how to do it. So this is the most common 6 different positions, and I'll guarantee you when time we're done, there'll probably be 2 or 3 of them you guys will all hate, and which ones you prefer, there's gonna be several of them that you're gonna like one, you'll like a different one, you'll like something completely different. And there is no rhyme or reason, it just depends on your hand size, the gun size, how the gun kicks. But we're gonna try all 6 of those on the range, so at least you can kind of get some feel. You'll be running, we're not gonna do a lot, but you're gonna run like a magazine of 10 rounds in each of those 6 positions. Enough for fires, I see you're gonna know, you get a good feel for what's going on, okay? All right, questions on the flashlight stuff? I'll go through them again before we shoot, but what are they again? What's first, what do we wanna use? Let's start with our hand here. What are my options if I get the flashlight in my hand?
You got the FBI.
Okay,
Yeah,
FBI.
Cheek. The jaw.
We got,
The cheek.
chickens are off.
yep, neck index they call it, crossover,
Crossover.
and uncrossed. Tell me something about the crossed.
Stable.
You want the back of your hands again? You want the back? I try to get my back, remember the guns up, I try to, depends on, my wrists are flexible, but I try to keep the back of my hand against the back of my hand, where I've got some good support in there.
You can support your
Yeah, yeah, and if I get it back into the joint, if I get back against back and just slide it back into the joint, it really locks in good.
You almost don't even need to
It's like,
have any muscles in this arm flex. You can
Rest it, use it as a rest.
yeah. Like I'm moving my left arm.
But it's funny because
right on.
a lot of people aren't that flexible and they have a hard time with this one. They're like, you know, the wrist just doesn't flex. I always forget from doing some martial arts, my wrists are all like real rubbery and flexy, so I have no problem getting them back there. But it's kind of the same thing when we're doing the draw stroke. I'll get the gun up and I'll rotate it and I'll keep it down low. And I run into a lot of people that are like, yeah, but my wrist doesn't bend that far. I gotta like do something different, you know? It's like, all right, you know, it'll bend wherever it wants to go. Yeah. No, this from doing a guy that did a lot of Aikido, and if it didn't go, by the time I was done a couple years, my wrist flexed in places I didn't know it was supposed to flex. Actually, I'm pretty sure it flexed in some places it wasn't supposed to flex. But that's good. All right, basic flashlight techniques. Okay, the other thing I want to go over is what's called SUL. S-U-L. This is something that's fairly common anymore. I mean, if you go back 5 or 6 years, it was like, huh? All right, you got your gun out. You guys have to excuse me, but I'm gonna point the plastic gun that way, okay? All right, boom, 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 I'm shooting the bad guy. First thing when we're shooting, I wanna make sure feet shoulder width apart, good relaxed stance, even weight distribution, slight bend to the knees. I don't wanna be in a half crouch like I'm getting ready to jump off of something. I just wanna slightly unlock my knees. Stand there for a second, everybody straighten your legs up. If you stand at attention, you guys are military, I'll tell you, what happens when you stand at attention for too long, with your legs locked?
You can pass out.
You're gonna start wobbling and then you're gonna fall over. All right, well what happens when you just slightly unlock your knees? Just a slight,
Stand there
and
forever.
it's not even, yeah, exactly.
The tension goes off of everything.
You can tell where the tension shifts too, because if I'm standing with my knees locked, the weight is always gonna be shifting between the balls of my feet and the heels of my feet. The longer I stand there, you're gonna see them start to go back and forth and then they fall over. So what I want everybody to do, start first, lock your knees, just pay attention to how the weight is, and then just a slight unbend, just enough, you're only gonna bend your knees enough just to unlock them. You know, let your knee move maybe an inch forward, just enough to unlock it. Can you feel how the weight shifts down to your heels and the balls of your feet? Makes a big difference. As you said, you're gonna be able to stand there forever then. You're gonna be in a fight, you know you're standing on the bullseye, and you know at some point you're gonna wanna get off the bullseye pretty quickly, because whatever bad thing is about to happen that you pulled your gun out to protect yourself from, it's gonna land right where you're standing. I just don't know which way I wanna go. That's why I want a good, relaxed, well-balanced stance, because I know I'm going somewhere. I know I'm not gonna just stand here. So I need to be ready to move. It's kinda like, you know, we missed that from the old days in school. When I was in high school, we played war ball. Anybody remember that from when they were in high school, like way back? You guys are like, who doesn't know what war ball is? All right, and that's fine, that's fine. War ball. You line up in gym class, count on 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, one's on that side, two's on that side. And they would dig out every basketball, soccer ball, well, we didn't have soccer balls, the volleyball you had, every one of them.
Oh, I played that in middle school.
And you'd all line up.
Yeah.
And you couldn't cross the center line on the court. And of course, the object was to slam somebody with a ball. And if you got hit with a ball, you were out, you went to sit down. They called it a war ball in those days. But I mean, it wasn't using like foofy Nerf balls. I mean, it were like full-size basketballs. And if you were near the line, I come up and I got you with it. It was like, wham, it's like, you're gone.
That hurts.
Point was, you didn't see anybody standing up like this. Everybody was like down, you know. We don't need to get that low like we're in a sumo stance. We just want to have the ability to move. So you just don't know which way you're going to have to move, so you're ready. And if nothing else, if your gun doesn't work, you're about to have a fight, so we better get ready. All right, so we want a good stance, well balanced. All right, so I'm shooting at the bad guy. Boom, boom, boom. Bad guy's down. I see him. He's on fire, change shape, whatever else. Doesn't appear to be a threat anymore. Enough that, you know what, I don't feel the need to shoot him anymore. He's down. All right, so I'm shooting. Bang, bang, bang. Bad guy's down. I got a pretty good idea. Somebody brought him, somebody drove him, or somebody's over there watching to see how this goes when he comes over here to try to jack me up for my wallet. Bad guys never work by themselves. You may only see one, you may never see who came with him. But I'm pretty sure the bad guy in front of you got there by some means. Somebody brought him. He probably didn't take the bus to come and rob you. Where his buddies at? And you're seeing more in the news where there are group beatdowns where it's just 5 or 6 people come up and just pound the heck out of somebody just for, you know, giggles. So I know where the bad guy was, took care of the bad guy, he's neutralized, I don't think it's a problem anymore. Where are the rest of his friends? So I'm shooting at him, but I want to check and make sure there's nobody sneaking up behind me. But what I don't want to do is scare the heck out of everybody else who's now appearing out of every coffee shop and everything else to see what's going on with all the shooting. If the bad guy's down here and I'm shooting at him, I mean, I don't think any of the rest of you want to see look around and then the back of the bad guy. One, everybody in the world sees a gun. Everybody freaks out because now you look like the nut job with the gun. Easier way to do this. When you're shooting, this is the sequence I'm going to run through it in. I'm shooting the bad guy, bang, bang, bang. I've shot the bad guy. I'm going to bring the gun back into what's referred to as sool. You know, if I'm running thumbs forward or thumbs together, it makes no difference. It's simply bringing the gun back down here, and I'll leave my thumbs together. That's kind of my guide. So let's try that, and I'm going to put this together. I'll just bring them back down with the gun vertical in here, just backing up close, and if your wrist bends, I'll just bring it just like this. Bring it back down, just like that.
It's good for room entries too.
Yeah, it is. It's good for lots of things.
Good for what?
You use room entries.
Standing on the line.
Yeah.
There's a guy in front of you, you're not gonna hold your gun
Yeah.
pointed
No.
out, right?
Yeah, but if you stop and think about where you're at, stop and think about this for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boy, I'm right back there, huh? I'm right back at number 4. Same thing. And I like this because, again, it just reinforces everything I'm doing. I always look for, is there any way that I can do multiple functions from one position? And you're right, I'm right back exactly where I was. Or if I need to, I can pull the gun back to get it out of clearance. I can block, and I can do a lot of things. So we're shooting, so just, you're shooting, bring the gun back to here. And you can just bring your hands back in close, just kind of relax with the gun, keep it in tight. And the reason I'm going to do it, do that 3 or 4 times, make sure you got it down. And just kind of relax, you can keep your elbows down, just kind of relax with the gun, just look real casual, like, you know. We don't need to have our arms up like we're trying to fly or be an antenna or something. Because we're supposed to, like, bad guys know, we're just going to relax, because I know where the bad guy is. Because what it's going to look like from back there is, I'm shooting the bad guy, bang, 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 I've shot the bad guy, I know where he's at, I'm going to bring the gun around, I'm going to look, then if I need to readjust my feet, I'll readjust them, I'm going to bring the gun back up on the bad guy just to make sure he's still where I left him. At that point, since it all looks clear, and I just shot the heck out of him, and I didn't see anybody back there I needed to shoot. Guess what? I'm gonna do a proactive reload before I reholster my gun. Because I've been shooting. Everybody I needed to shoot, I've shot. Or I would still be like facing that way. So, my background where I started. Magazine. Put it away, the gun's topped off. Now the gun's topped off, so I took care of the bad guy. I checked around, there's nobody behind me. Topped off the gun, put the other magazine away, and now I'm gonna run an assessment. Every time I run an arm, torso, I'm gonna look at my hand. I'm looking to see in this exchange, did I get shot while I'm still in one piece? Transition? No? No? Nope. And I'm done. So I'm gonna look at the bad guy, make sure I got rid of the bad guy, make sure the bad guy doesn't have anybody sneaking up behind me. I'm gonna turn around, make sure the bad guy's where I just left him. I'm gonna top off my gun because I've just been shooting the bad guy. I'm gonna check and see if I got shot once I've topped off the platform and reloaded the tanks. I'm gonna check and see once I've topped off, did I get hit? So, bad guy's where I left him, nobody's sneaking up behind me. My gun's topped off again, ready to start, full tank. I've checked for injuries. Put my gun away at that point. Alright? It's a good assessment of your six-pack here. There are different ways to go about doing it, and this is kind of how I do the turn. This turn is one of those things that seems to befuddle people. The leg, if I'm turning left, my left leg does not move. So when I look over my left shoulder to make my turn, my left leg doesn't move. When I look right over my right shoulder, my right leg doesn't move. And I'm going to end up in a reverse stance when I do that, but that's okay. Then I can drop back, gun back up on the target. So I'm going to walk everybody through this. Gun up on target, reload it, check, everything, check. So I'm going to walk everybody through it. Here's why we're going to do it, okay? Get your gun up on target. Everybody step up a little bit because you don't want to get too close to the table back there. All right, your gun's up, you're shooting the bad guy. Gun's empty, regardless of what I'm doing. Okay, reload exactly at that second, then continue on what you're doing. So we're going to assume you still got some of the gun down there. So you're shooting some of the gun. Bang, bang. Bad guy's down, or he's on fire, or whatever. Okay, bring the gun back to Sewell. Okay, just stay right there, bring it back to Sewell. Now what? Look over your left side. And the reason I'm looking over my left side, does anybody know why I'm looking left first?
See if it's behind you.
Besides that.
Right
Why am I
side.
going left? Why am I going left instead of looking right first?
Right side.
Because your gun's on the right side.
If I were left-handed, which way would I want to spin?
The right side.
Yes, because when you spin left, where's your gun? My gun's coming around, it can come up at any point. If I spin the other way, it doesn't work. That's why I'm spinning this way. Good, good, you guys are sharp. All right, so I'm shooting, I'm back down in Sewell, I'm gonna look left, and I'm just gonna spin a 180. And I don't see anything. Now, I'm gonna spin back right. I'm gonna look back to my right, and when I go right, I'll pivot on my right foot, back there, bring the gun back up on target, adjust your foot position if you need to, that's fine, nobody said you're stuck in concrete. Okay, proactive reload, reach for your mag, insert your mag, take the one in the gun out, put it away. Forgot the one in the gun now. That's okay, we're gonna do it in real life in a second. All right, now that we've got the guns topped off, take your left hand. My batteries have gone dead. I'm dead. All right. I know how my grandmother feels when her hearing aids go out. My batteries have apparently died. All right, there's 6 positions. We're going to use 3 since you got, and then take a break. Next time you come in, we'll use the other 3. We're going to start with the first 3 positions. 10 rounds crossed, 10 rounds uncrossed, and we'll do 10 rounds neck index, okay? Those are going to be your 30 rounds. Crossed, uncrossed, neck index, okay? Go and kill it. It's not totally dark in here, but you get the idea. When you're ready, go ahead.